New LP out and about, called Hello Angel, I should say. What are its strengths, do you think, Sandie? Because I know you're quite enthusiastic about this, aren't you?
I am, yes. I can't stop talking about it, actually. I'm going to blast my mouth up soon. What, Hello Angel of a single or what?
Well, the album.
All of it.
To begin with.
I think its strengths are that it's absolutely genuine. It's very potent. I mean, everybody that's involved... I mean, I've been waiting 40-odd years to do it, so, I mean, it's all about energy gone... And everything that I've ever done has built up to this particular point. So that's quite a unique thing to do, I think.
And you've assembled a pretty impressive band to back you up on it. Some great musicians on there.
Yeah. They've all been sort of like waiting around till I was ready. It was always as if there's like this big ready button somewhere and everybody was saying, will you just tell her? Whenever she's ready, we'll just press it. And they've all been assembling around waiting to press it. Yeah, Richard Coles I'd met a couple of, almost 18 months ago now. I did the AIDS benefits with him, and he was playing, when he stopped playing with the Communards, he'd come and play with me. And then Dion Estes I know, because we share the same management and we're just good friends anyway, and we've sung so many times at dinner parties and at friends' houses, we just kept saying we've got to do this for real one day. And luckily, or unlucky for George, but luckily for us, George Michael had a sore throat. So he was able to come and work with me. And then Kevin Armstrong I'd worked with on the some sessions before, and then he went off with Iggy Pop, so I dragged him back. And then who else was on there? Oh, lots of people come and tell me, you tell me.
Chrissy Hine plays harmonica, doesn't she?
Yes, I rang her up because, well, she's always, when I had lost all my confidence and everything, she was one of the people that sort of helped me get it back. And so I've tried to include everybody, even Janice Long, because like she was really supportive at a time when I needed it. I mean, even at one point, Johnny Marr came along just to give me a big cuddle. So
it does sound very much like a family atmosphere, and I think that's carried through onto the single too, which I think is absolutely splendid.
I'm not mother. Richard Coles is mother.
And of course, Morrissey wrote it too. We'll talk about him in just a moment. First, let's take a look at the single now. Please help the cause against loneliness.
The dustbin, I had to rescue him.
Morrissey there with wings on, as Sandie was saying. You might have caught him in a reverential position, the missionary position even, down on his knees there. What is it about? Yes. No, what is it about Morrissey? He's a real fan of yours, isn't he?
Well, so's everybody. It's just that, you know, he talks about it. He's honest about it. Yeah, no, he's brilliant. If he didn't exist in this world, I don't know what I'd do. I mean, like, he just coaxes me out of my shell. He's fantastic. He's like that with anybody. If he tells anybody they look good in something, they'll wear it for the rest of the year. But, you know, he doesn't give compliments out that easily. That's probably why.
That's true. He sent you a constant stream of roses and postcards at one time, didn't he?
Well, it's not that constant. I have little arguments, and then 3 months I hear nothing. And then we start off again. And, I mean, I do write back. But it's a really good pen pal kind of thing. I think you can write things down, what you daren't say, when you actually meet somebody. I mean, it actually took us about a year to get round to actually embracing each other when we met each other. At first, you know, like, anywhere, if we do a photo session, if you're anywhere sort of touching me, I sort of like edge off. Because I thought you must be crazy, all these things you used to read about in the paper. But gradually, we sort of got used to each other. Because it was very difficult when you're that open in a letter to then actually be like that with a person. It's like a huge leap of the imagination to do that, but I think we tend to manage to do it every now and again now.
What sorts of things does he write to you then?
Just totally out of the blue things. They're usually things that are inspiring, things encouraging. I mean, anything that I won't tell you everything. I just tell you the things I think that you can know.
Well, you tell us the rest as well. We're not proud here.
No. They usually, you know, if I've done something, he'll write and he'll say what he likes about it, or if there's things that he thinks I can work on, he'll mention that. I mean, the album's called Hello Angel because he wrote me a postcard which started off, "Hello Angel, do you think I care too much?" And I wrote back saying, no, of course you don't. You could never care enough. No, but that's how the first song started.
We're going to take a look at the Smiths in action now, and of course, not just Morrissey, but you've been working with Johnny Marr and Stephen Street, Morrissey's collaborator, recent collaborator too. Is there something about that group of people that you feel a real sort of empathy with?
Well, apparently Stephen Street engineered the first tracks that I did with the Smiths, and I can't remember. He said because I was so frightened I spent all the time looking at the studio floor and never actually looked up to see who was engineering it. So I've known Stephen that long, but only properly since the Morrissey's solo sessions.
Right, well, Stephen Street and Morrissey, of course, collaborated on Sandie's single, but let's take a look at the Smiths in action now. From their new live LP, this is the new live single, and it's Ask. Smiths live for you there, and that was Ask. Sandie Shaw in the studio with me. Sandie, reading through the back cuttings and the biographies and all that, some of the terms that have been used to describe you lately, like pop icon, pop goddess, and all this sort of thing. Yeah, you, not them. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'm quite used to it now, really. I get rather offended when people don't talk about me reverently. No, it's I don't know. I think it's a bit camp, really. I do it myself. I talk about myself in those terms, just to take the piss, really.
But a lot of people of your generation that had hits back in the 60s haven't exactly grown up gracefully. You seem to have managed that. I think one writer called it...
I'm graceful?
Well, I think one writer said that you survived with dignity, which I think kind of sums it up, really. Do you see it that way? Has it been a conscious thing?
Well, I think I've always tried to do things for the right reasons, and I've always been really precious about the things that I do. Even when I was younger, if I didn't treat it as a historical moment, other people around me tended to do it. Whether they were getting the vibes off me, that was the thing to do. And I mean, like, when my manager died, she'd kept every single press cutting I'd ever had. There were like boxes and boxes and boxes, all the foreign press, you know, it's beautiful coloured things, and it was just wonderful. And all my dresses were always kept for me by people that thought that they were important. And then when they all came to me, I said, well, give them to all the museums. So there's all my dresses in all different museums, performance underneath and everything. And I've always owned all my tapes and things, and I've always kept them because, you know, I don't know, they were always there in my cupboards, and suddenly everybody wants them. So in a way, I've quite unconsciously kept things that way. And I've never ever sung for money. I did once in a time at the end of my first marriage, because I had to, and it was the most distasteful thing to me ever, and it was really, really painful, and I think it took me about over 10 years to recover from that. I only did it for a few months, and it was really painful. I can't do things for those reasons. And I think I'm a bit of a purist. I tend to do things for really sort of either pure or just creative reasons. And like now, I'm singing because I just really feel I want to communicate with people, just as many people as possible, and I just want to share everything that I have. So, and I really want to be as open as I possibly can, because I see so many people nowadays covering themselves up, not being themselves, and not expressing themselves properly. I just was hoping that I could inspire people to do that for themselves.
Well, I think you've managed that with the new lineup, with some of the songwriters you've been using as well, like the Reed brothers from the Jesus and Mary Chain. Sandie, we're right out of time, sadly, but great to talk to you again. It was nice to see you barefoot in the video too. I'm sure that'll please a lot of your older fans.
I just forgot to bring my shoes. It was an accident, I promise.
All right, we'll believe you this once. We're going to play out this section with the band of Holy Joy, and Sandie, again, thanks very much. My wooden leg's fallen off.